Welcome back, everybody, as we close out day 2 of competition for our 2025 Tactical Games Nationals. I'm Lauren Khalil, and I have the pleasure of being joined by the one and only Amanda Cherry. She is one of the owners of Tactical Games that has brought this incredible event to us, and we still have one more day, but first we got to finish out day 2.
We do. We're almost there.
How has the experience been for you so far? Mostly you've been, walking around talking with spectators, competitors, manning the merch booth, and just what have the past 2 days been like for you?
Everyone seems really happy to be here. Great end to the season. Weather's holding up very well for us, which I think we're all very happy about. And yeah, everyone seems to be having a great time. A little bit of a shorter day today compared to yesterday, which I think everyone's happy to go home and get a good night's sleep tonight. So yeah, everything's going well.
Yesterday we finished under the lights, which I think was great for those athletes that qualified for nationals. It makes it feel like we're at nationals, but yesterday was long. They had 6 stages.
Yeah.
Today we have more of a normal day with 4, and we also welcomed our intermediate athletes today.
Yeah, a lot more folks out on the field today, a lot more spectators out here. So yeah, we got a packed house.
We do, and we're going to be closing out day 2 of competition with the Women Elite. If you missed it, they are closing out. We'll have 2 heats go of stage 11. Get to the Chippa. It is going to be a mix. 4 rounds total. Each round it's going to be a little bit different with the physical work. Our Women's Elite is going to all have that 20-pound ruck on them, and they will be managing a 60-pound duffel bag. And then moving to the firing line, both the rifle and pistol, 38 yards out, but both will be freestanding. And we've seen in some previous heats just how taxing that's going to be on the body, especially as now they're approaching their 10th stage of the weekend. Our Women's Elite getting out there and getting their sight pictures in, but as we predict, we've seen a lot of shifts on the leaderboard since the beginning of today. Janae DeCossin, she's won 2 national events. She's going for her 3rd. She still sits on top, but E-Church, you'll see her. She's the closest to our screen as, we move some things out there. She is bumped from 4th to 2nd, and Blair right in front of her, a new mom, is in the top 10 mix, and she just had her baby daughter 11 weeks ago.
Yeah, 11
so
weeks.
It's great to see our athletes returning out here and continuing on in competition. So as we move some things around, we'll operate between these 2 cameras, and the sun will be going down, so bear with us as we try to see exactly who's in each lane. In this final heat, it is going to be our top heat, or I'm sorry, there'll be one more after them, but we have E-Church. We mentioned she was sitting 2nd overall, and these are unofficial scores as practice score is still being updated. Right next to her is going to be Blair Drum. She was in the top 10. Lupe Hernandez in your middle lane. Janae DeCossin in lane 4. And then Katie Batiste to round out this group of 5 elite women, but a ton of volume that they've already endured, a ton of sandbag work. Earlier they had to manage that 200-pound sandbag, and you and I managing the 125 sandbag together. Isn't it insane to think that these ladies are having almost no problem with the 200-pound?
No problem at all.
I know people love watching you compete, Amanda. You are recovering from ACL surgery. How have you been feeling?
Doing well. I still have a long ways to go, but it feels good to be weight bearing again and be able to get back out here. I had to take a couple of months off from coming out to events. I was non-weight bearing for about 8 weeks after my injury, so it just feels good to be back and seeing everyone in the community.
You were definitely missed on the couple of regional events that we missed you as you were home managing things remotely, because if you're out here, we're all standing on our feet all day and walking around, and we're out on a range. The terrain is sometimes a little bit unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
And these ladies getting back to their start and finish line. And you'll notice once we get that shot of the wall that they'll have to go over. Amanda, do you know exactly how tall it is? I think this one that you can see just the top, it looks as tall as me, about
I think
5
it's about
feet.
6 feet.
6 feet, okay. So my eyes wouldn't be able to pop over that. yours either. We're both
Nope.
not your tallest athletes out there, but from the women's 40 division that we covered a little bit earlier, you saw some different techniques on how athletes figured on how to get over. We saw, Becky Wagner, one of the top 40-plus athletes. She got a running start. We saw Lauren, who's sitting in first overall. She used more of her tricep extension to get up, and it was I'm excited to see what our women's elite now decides to do. But they are underway, a 15-minute time cap. Oh, I actually see Becky Wagner coming in the shot over here as she's watching. But these ladies, they will be alternating, throwing that sandbag back and forth. It will be 12 lateral bag toss. Again, for the women's elite, the weight in that duffel bag is 60 pounds. And then once they move through this first physical portion, they then will go to the firing line. Since being part of Tactical Games, I love going back to your first experience as a spectator.
Yeah, you do.
And Nick Thayer, who also owns Tactical Games, Amanda's husband, tell the audience, tell the viewers at home, what has been the growth of your first Tactical Games experience to owning Tactical Games and being at just about every one?
Well, my husband did not prepare me for my first Tactical Games experience whatsoever. So we showed up in Barnwell, South Carolina, at GTI. Nick was a competitor at the time. He was competing in the intermediate division, and he must have had about 5 hours between each stage at that time. And I was probably one of 3 spectators out there that weekend. We did not have a cooler. We didn't have water. We didn't have food. And we must have been out on the range for about 12 hours each day. Come end of day Sunday, I looked at Nick and told him, I fully support you in your hobbies, but this will be my last Tactical Games event I ever go to. And, 4 years later, here we are. So
what then happened within those 4 years that you went from, hey, honey, this is your thing. I support you, but I'm not necessarily going to be part of it, to, hey, let's go in this together. I can really see potential and room for growth to own Tactical Games.
He got me. Nick was traveling. I think he competed at just about every event that year. That was 2020. It was COVID. And he would then figure out a sales pitch for me. So these then became vacations for us. Nick would compete, and we'd either head out the week prior or stay a week after and travel during that time. So he figured out a way to pull me in. And once he did, I started getting more involved in the community and volunteering when I could. And that was it. I was in.
And here you are, going to, again, almost every single regional event outside when you were recovering from ACL surgery.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it certainly has evolved since Tactical Games started back in, the end of 2018 into 2019. And even then, we had a secondary owner, Jared Helber, and then you and Nick owned it. And it really is an experience once you get to know the people in
Absolutely.
Each division, because it now almost feels like this outside barbecue with your extended family. People have tents set up. There's vendors where you can get food. We saw Cougarville earlier, the women's 40 plus that have games, have snacks, and it's really turned into this whole experience for people.
Oh, yeah. And I hear it so often, people see Tactical Games on social media or on YouTube, and then, wow, it's so cool, but it can be so intimidating for many people until they come out and they experience it firsthand, and they meet people in the community. And that's the game changer for many. It then becomes a goal that they're chasing after. I want to compete, or I want to volunteer, and just figure out how I can get involved in this community as much as possible. And that's what we're trying to do. With the addition of the men's Masters 60-plus division this year and the women's 50-plus division, we want the sport to be as inclusive as possible. And it's really cool to see those fields grow.
Yeah, and especially with the growth even of the women's elite division, every year we see more competitors registering, and it really is fun to see, or like go back to the beginning and see how much it's developed over the years. But E-Shirt, she is your leader. She's finishing up round 2. Those box stepovers with the weight, again, that is a 60-pound sandbag that they are maneuvering on top of their plate carrier, on top of the ruck, over that 20-inch box. I know just from unweighted box step overs at the end of this day, incredibly fatiguing.
Yeah.
And E has made such a push today climbing up the leaderboard. You talk to a lot of these athletes and they say that they try not to get married to the leaderboard after day 1. It's really after day 2 where that's when you see most of the shifts happen, especially as, you know, they worked with a stage that had a spinner, which could be a make or break for a lot of these athletes. And you have some of the single modality stages that may or may not be in an athlete's wheelhouse that it's hard to play the leaderboard game, and it's important to just run your own race.
Absolutely.
And he's got a big background here in tactical games, also was a former CrossFit Games athlete, a full-time corrections officer, and just an incredible asset to the community as a whole here. And she is done with her rifle. She'll now move to her pistol. And again, the targets are both at 38 yards. And when you think of how far 38 yards is for a pistol, that might be one of our furthest targets for pistol.
Yeah, it's out there.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering what kind of paper they're shooting for this one, it is an 8x11 piece. And then for the rifle, they are shooting a tip to tip on a triangle out there. So you can kind of see it over her right shoulder to get an idea of what those targets look like. And she is done and will now move to her bag and body over that wall that's as tall/taller than us. And we'll see how E moves over and what her technique is. So you got to get the bag over and then body up and over.
With a smile on her face.
And I wish we had her mic'd up. She was talking to someone, whether it was her judge or maybe her wife Teresa's over there. But yeah, she always has a smile on her face. It doesn't matter how much some of these stages mentally, emotionally, physically hurt. She's out there. And as we continue to refresh the leaderboard, again, our team is adding scores in throughout the day. So scores are not official. Unofficially, E is at 648 match points. Janaida Cawson, who is in first heading into this one, is at 708. So he's certainly able to make some moves in the second day. Janae, though, she's going for her 3rd straight title. If you look at Jacob Hepner in the men's division, he's got 3 straight. And the two of them converse and trade notes a lot as former champions, former multi-champions, and we know that Janae is certainly looking to continue her run standing on the podium at the end of the weekend. And then up on the screen to the left, that's Blair Drum, a new mama out on the field. And we talked to her earlier, and she was just talking about being in good company with other moms in the field and talking a lot to Kalarina Woodard, who last year we saw her compete just a couple months after giving birth. And it truly is incredible what the human body can do, seeing these athletes come back after giving birth.
And we have Lexi Dickinson also competing in Elite this year, and she's maybe 2 years postpartum, I want to say, 1.5 years, 2 years.
We've had some questions. Will there ever be a mama's division?
Ooh, we can work on that.
To be determined. And it looks as if all of our women's elite field now, these top 5 women are all on the 3rd round here, working over the very tall wall. And not just over the wall, but again, the plate carrier, the ruck, the sandbag, their pistol, their belt. It's a lot of equipment if you've never trained with it, it is incredibly important to, practice as much as you can implement these things at home in your training. And just going back to E, it's interesting to watch her body language as she gets up and over. And I'd be so curious to see, what she's saying, because she's talking to somebody.
Yeah,
as
she's got a lot to say up there.
She does, and it's like, oh, if we could just, and yeah, the way she's stretching out right now before she grabs that sandbag, we'll see if she can keep the lead here, but big deep breath, up and over. It doesn't look difficult, but at the same time, when you think of just how much work these athletes have already done, and she goes. She'll be the first one back to the firing line to finish up round 3 before then they start their 4th round. But even after the 4th round, this isn't one of those stages that saves you from the clock, because while there's a 15-minute time cap, they only have 4 rounds. When and if you're done with that 4 rounds under 15 minutes, it's then AMRAP of the obstacle course going through. So you don't get done when the 4th round's over. You will start with her rifle, but we'll go back and see the rest of the field where they are finishing up. I think that is Janae all the way to the right of your screen that just walked up to the firing line. We'll see if we can get a shot. Oh, no, actually, I think that's Janae in the middle in the hat. And no, that's Lupe that's in the hat. So, yeah, Janae went up to the firing line, but E will continue to work through her targets here with her rifle. They completed 6 stages yesterday. This will be their 4th today, and then 4 more tomorrow, and then top 5 for the elite men and women will advance to a 15th stage. It's a blind stage. We don't know it yet, but Amanda, I know that it lives in your brain.
It sure does.
At what point will athletes know what it is? Once they're announced?
Once they're announced.
So there's no practicing.
No practicing.
Just get out there and...
They'll find out in real time like everyone else.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That makes it exciting, though. And that one will be under the lights tomorrow.
That one will be kicking off at 5 p.m. Central, so it'll be during golden hour.
Ooh,
which
those
will make for some beautiful photographs.
Great pictures. So closest to us on the screen, that is Janae working on her pistol. And now she's done, and we'll move back. So E is your leader, and now Janae is right behind him. And I gotta say, this is probably the worst. I'd rather go up and over that high wall a million times before you find me doing the bear crawl with the bag. And on paper, it seems like it's one of those things that can be kind of silly and, I don't want to do it, but it's really hard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Super fatiguing. And then you also add like the little pebbles and rocks that get into your hand.
And again, all the additional gear that they have on.
Yeah, we can't underestimate just how challenging these stages are with all the gear that you're wearing. And if you're home watching, looking to get involved with tactical games, the best way to learn and practice is just coming out to either one of our regional events or, skirmish is certainly taking off in several. I remember when there was only maybe 1 or 2, and now maybe we have 5 or 6.
Yep. And we have our skirmish program opening up in Poland at Poland Shooting Center. So expanding in Europe as well. There's definitely a lot of interest in Europe.
That Europe team, they are...
Gotta love them.
They are a very exciting group. If you haven't met them before, they will certainly make even the grumpiest person smile or crack a laugh. And it is interesting.
Speaking of the Polish
team.
team.
Yeah, you want to come on over? Okay, no, we got dinner over on the side.
He's on a break.
He's not ready for his TV time yet. But talking about the different strategies, so E is kind of hinged over in almost an upward down V. That's going to be a little bit more taxing on those hip flexors and really going to maximize that flexibility. If we go over to Janae, she's actually staying a little bit more upright too, but she's getting the sandbag in between her legs and pulling it forward. She was scooching a little bit on her hands and knees before, and then all the way up. That's Blair. She's on all fours just pulling it through, and this is one of those things that nothing really feels good.
Yeah.
And it looks like that is going to be time for our first of 2 heats for our women's elite. We will have to go to our leaderboard, practicescore.com, or you can go to thetacticalgames.com for all of your information and official scoring as we continue to update. But what a great way to kick off the end of a night here at Reverly Peak Ranch. It is beautiful as the sun comes down. We have it kind of shining over us right now. We'll change the camera where you can kind of see the sunlight passing in, and right next to us we have the Inman but worse. Have you watched this stage at all today?
All day.
That one is absolutely brutal. I mean, Inman, we've repeated it a lot of times at we've done it at nationals, we've done it at different regional events, and it always looks hard. But watching
this is
the
definitely
souls
worse.
fly out of people who you think that they're unbreakable. I saw a lot of people break on this stage today.
Adding that sled definitely makes it extra spicy.
It certainly does, and it's fun, though, because as soon as you think that you're ready for something and you've done a lot of practice and, yeah, we think Inman's going to show up, and you practice it one way, adding the sled, adding the penalty work into it, it just, yeah, you practiced, and it makes it a little bit better. But we'll welcome Sal Hernandez on. You can just grab a headset right over there. We got a seat for you. And we'll put your microphone on. Yeah, and what do you got to say?
Wow.
Bring your microphone down so we can hear you.
Wow. Okay, that was a tough stage.
Okay, so Sal was over there.
Tough.
He was able to watch it, so he might have seen some things
Even
that we
Sal's
weren't
out of breath.
able to see on the stage. Sal, give us kind of your initial thoughts of watching the first Elite Women's Heat with that one.
Crazy impressive. These women are amazing. They're so tough. To me, they've had the hardest stages the whole weekend. Like, kind of scaled to the men's elite, I think they have it a lot harder. That was a hard stage.
So I'm trying to see, just based on what we saw, did they not finish, or were they working on the additional work?
Yeah, so they had to, so I think E, Janae, and Blair were doing the bear crawls with the bag, and they still had to shoot.
Okay, so they hadn't, that's what I thought. They hadn't finished the 4th round quite yet.
So this is just a point stage. So every shot is 1 point. Every movement of the bags is 1 point. So potential for 48 points of work and 96 points of shooting. So everybody left 24 points up for grabs for shooting. Yeah, and the shots were hard. It was 35 yards standing offhand rifle at a very small triangle, like 5 inches. And that doesn't sound hard if you're just standing on the range. But wearing a ruck that weighs 20 pounds, that's strapped to your body, a plate carrier, your belt, the wind, the sun's in your face. I mean, that's a lot of factors to me.
Were you able, we know that, as soon as the athletes come off the stage, they then have to judge. Were you able to talk to Lupe at all in between, get any initial feedback, or just read the look on your wife's face?
She was exhausted. They all were. I mean, E was pushing dirt in her face. All the women that got done, dirt all over their face, their necks, their arms. It's like, it just looked like they rolled in the dirt, for 12 or 15 minutes. But she was exhausted. I told her, very good job, because she shot incredibly well. Pistol, I think she ran clean, maybe missed one. Nice. And then rifle, she shot very good. So it was a good stage. Yeah. It
certainly was. We'll have one more stage to watch as they continue to reset. But, from both of you, what are your biggest takeaways as we now get close to closing day 2? And Sal, I'll start with you.
Biggest takeaways this weekend is the shooting, big time. So the men's elite Hepner's running away with it because he's not only fitnessing very well, but he's shooting incredibly well. I mean, if you look at the leaderboard, his misses each stage are a lot less than everybody else's. Jose is not too far behind him, and Aaron Clark, they're shooting just a little bit more misses, but they're right there. I mean, it's and the same with the women's side. Janae is just crushing it with the shooting. Her fitness is right there as always, but her shooting is to another level now. And the race between third through sixth is so tight in the women's elite division. It gives me the chills. I mean, I'm just like, I want Lupe to do well, but I'm friends with all these women too, so I'm rooting for all of them.
Yeah, and especially when you talk about the races between 3 to 6, it's not just the fight for the podium, but also the fight to get to that final stage. Which I remember Kyle Martin last year missed out the top 5. It was so close, and just you want to have as many opportunities as possible, so that cut line from 5 to 6 is major. Amanda, biggest takeaways after 2 days?
The race is tight. It's very rare that I look at the leaderboard throughout the weekend. I'm usually just making sure there are no fires happening. I did
you're putting them all out.
Yeah, I did peek at the leaderboard last night and checking it throughout the day today. And as Sal just said, it is a tight race for the men's and women's elite. So look forward to seeing what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, tight races in the 40-plus division as well for both the men and the women. And our next stage of elite women will get ready. They are taking their sight picture. In this squad, from left to right, we will have Jordan Sessions. Next to her in the long sleeve white, Kalarina Woodard, Crystal Herber. And then from the women's tactical, they're also in this squad. Over all the way to the right, Jin Chung and Jessie Curtis, who have been doing incredible in that women's tactical division as well, putting up really competitive times to beat throughout all of these stages that we've been covering.
Yeah, and the race between Jin and Jessie is very tight too. It's Megan's doing very, very, very good this weekend. She's running away with it, I'd say. And then Bailey Manchenko is not too far behind her, but the race between third and fifth is pretty close between Jin, Jessie, and Haley Weiss.
And that's what Nationals is all about. There's very small room for error once we get to this stage of the weekend. But if you are just joining us as we get ready to start this final heat of women, this is what they are going to be taking on. It's stage 11, a 15-minute time cap. They're going to work through some sandbag while wearing a 20-pound ruck. They will be managing a 60-pound duffel bag and then going to the firing line, 12 shots with rifle, 12 with pistol, both at 38 yards out. And if that wasn't hard enough, they are both freestanding.
And Lauren, if you wouldn't mind, if you could just repeat the name of the stage for us one more time, just so.
Get to the chippa.
Thank you.
Did you like that?
Thank you very much.
I call it Back to the Choppa, because I think it's what it calls in Ohio. That was the stage name, is Back to the Chippa. But I can't say it. Just sounds too ghetto.
Well, we really enjoy the way Lauren says the stage names. The guys.
I'm never briefed.
The guys always come up with a theme for each event, and sometimes it's movie quotes, sometimes it's inside jokes or whatever ridiculous shit they are talking about at the moment. But Lauren does a fantastic job of articulating some of these stage names, and we definitely have a favorite that we don't let her live down. A very famous movie quote.
I'm not a movie gal.
Yeah.
I don't know what movie it's from, and I forget who said it, but it was called All Right, All Right, All Right. But I said it as All Right, All Right.
We won't tell Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, yeah, that's who it is.
It's okay.
Anyways.
Jessie Curtis to the line. Look at that. Wow, that was fast.
Fast. And she has been fast with Jin right behind her. These two ladies, and I think it's great that they are close on the leaderboard and able to be in the same squad and in lanes next to each other, because it pushes both of them.
And Jessie just started competing this year.
Yeah, we saw her at the Wyo Ranch.
Yep.
That was her first competition.
Wyo was her first event, and I think she competed in Ohio.
Yeah, so I met her and Jamie Lasco in Ohio.
Yep.
And they came and approached me on a tank trap stage. They're like, hey, so how would you shoot this? And I gave my tips, and little did I know that they were really good shooters. I was like, you didn't need my advice. Both of you guys podiumed. Like, what are you talking about?
And speaking of Jamie Lasko, she is in the women's 40-plus division, and she is going toe-to-toe between second and third with Becky
yeah.
Wagner. When I checked the leaderboard last, they were less than 1 match point between the two of them for second and third. So they have a
Wow.
fun race going on between them as well.
And I'll call out Jamie for a moment because she sent me a message a couple of months ago asking me if it was even worth her registering to come out to nationals.
And now she's
What?
in
Oh,
the
yeah.
fight
You
for the
gotta be kidding
podium.
me.
Yeah, I actually kind of laughed back at her and told her I didn't think that was an option.
This
so.
is her first year doing this. It just
Yeah.
shows the amount of work she's put in on the shooting side because physically she's a beast. And
Oh, yeah.
it's easy for her, but the shooting is so hard that she had to learn fast.
Mm-hmm. And so that's Jessie Curtis. She's in that women's tactical division. 20 inches is what the box is to get up and over. And in the women's tactical division, on your screen it was women's elite weights. So she is in a 10-pound ruck, and her duffel bag is 40 pounds. So typically, if you're wondering what the difference is between, our intermediate, tactical, and elite division, the shooting mostly remains the same, but it's going to be the weights or the rep schemes that will differentiate which division.
Yeah, and Jessie's a beast. I mean, I told her, you remind me of a little bulldog. That's what I told her after the Inman stage. I was like, you're just a monster at moving this weight, and hopefully see her in elite next year.
Yeah,
I think she's capable of it.
Absolutely, and we've seen a lot of athletes just looking at their stats from last year that ended up, either on the podium or within the top 5 of the tactical division bump up this year to elite. We see Mike Palmer, we see Austin Green. They were both in contention for the podium last year in men's tactical, and now they're out here
And
in
Zach
the elite
Wolf.
division.
Zach Wolf
and so
podiumed.
Zach
Yeah.
Wolf, yeah. So it's great to see people use this as fuel and decide to bump up, and then you only get better when you train with the best, and I think there's a lot of things that you can learn from being out here.
Nice. You can tell she's put in so much work. Just the clearing procedure, manipulating the safety, getting the magazine out. It's just, you can tell the work she's put in to get to this level.
Well, and let's remember, she's from Michigan, right?
Yep.
So if you think of the amount of hours that she's actually able to go out to a shooting range, knowing how cold and snowy Michigan is, that's dedication in the, 3 months that you don't have snow.
And just shooting with a ruck on is probably the most annoying thing, especially when you're trying to shoot a rifle. You can't really get a good connection to the gun. You're just kind of floating it out on your shoulder, and it just feels weird. I train a lot in the standing offhand position because it's the hardest shots, and sometimes I neglect shooting with the ruck just because it's so hard, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I'm tired of shooting with a ruck on, but it's the hardest shots you're going to take here is with a ruck on standing offhand.
Yeah, and even getting up and over that, I mean, it's hard enough slick with just your own body weight, but trying to maneuver, okay, what's the best way that I can operate? Because I'm back heavy, you have that ruck on,
Yep.
and trying to get that good lean to almost give yourself a little bit of momentum. And Jin's also there. You can see to the right of her, both working now on through this next round.
Jin's actually been staying local to us in Georgetown for the past month and training at HQ, and it's been really cool to watch her train. I believe she owns her own tech startup, and she works long hours. She works remote, but I see when she comes into the gym and when she's heading out, and she's usually heading out around 10 o'clock at night, so
Wow.
she's putting in the work.
And didn't you say that she'll also FaceTime her coach?
Yeah.
So that her coach is watching her and giving her real-time feedback.
Oh, yeah, and she's dry firing in the gym. She's putting in the work.
So I remember meeting her at athlete camp last year, and she was so focused, so smart, and I could tell instantly by her manipulation of the draw, safety, everything, that she puts in a lot of dry fire work, and I was very impressed.
Yeah, and you can't emphasize how important dry fire is because it could seem super boring and mundane, and like you're not necessarily getting better because it doesn't give you the same type of feedback that when you shoot live rounds, but just getting that muscle memory really dialed in and seeing your dot every time that you draw will have so much carryover in a sport like this.
100%, especially on stages like the aggregates, like razzle dazzle, the manipulation of shooting, moving, reloading, slinging your rifle, shooting pistol, reloading your pistol. All that can be done in dry fire. You don't need live rounds for that.
And it helps you save some money.
Oh, yeah.
Ammo's not cheap. So it looks like we have all of our athletes, both in the women's tactical and women's elite, making through. This is their third of 4 rounds, but we saw from the previous women's elite heat that Sal confirmed not a single athlete in that he was able to finish all 4 rounds. They ended in the last portion of work before getting to that firing line.
Yeah, there was one person I thought was going to finish was E. She was super close. She was moving over that wall really smooth and fast, and just the amount of time it takes to shoot and low crawl or bear crawl through this it consumed a lot of time. Before the stage, I was talking with Jordan Sessions, and she was so excited for this stage. She told me, she goes, "This is a stage in my wheelhouse. Like, I love these gritty stages." And I was like, "Me too. I love these stages that are just bite down on your teeth and just go. Don't even think about resting or breathing or anything. Just keep moving, and your breathing will come, through these reps." But she was very excited about this stage, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the stages that you're in the dirt, you're throwing yourself over a wall. It is gritty, and you're not necessarily going to fail any of these movements. Maybe the initial up and over of the wall here, if height plays a factor in having all of that weight, but you're never going to fail a box step over at this weight. You're not going to fail a bear crawl with this weight. So it really just comes to, you're right, who wants it more and who's been able to manage the fatigue of all the other stages they've endured.
You never know. Those box step overs sneak up on you sometimes. Never forget.
That's how Amanda tore her ACL, if anybody's wondering. So that will stop you. You are correct.
It's a rather large box, though.
It was. That was a 48-inch box.
Yeah, it was a pretty big box.
That was the biggest box we have here in Tactical Games, and I'm sure you thank your husband, Nick Thayer, every single night before you go to bed. Honey, thank you for building this. I love it.
Sure do.
But Nick was a good man because she got hurt. He immediately rushed her to the hospital. And,
Yep.
That's a really, to put aside this event and to care about your loved one I definitely tip my hat to Nick on that because that's hard to do. You're running this company, you're running this amazing match with lots of people, and for him to do that's, it's awesome to see.
Oh, I love the look on people's faces.
Geez.
Jen
She's in pain right now.
Oh, yeah. We got to get through this. We're almost there. A few more minutes. And even going back to when we saw the previous heat. Okay, so now she's starting the work.
Part.
Yep.
This is the worst part.
On paper, it looks so easy, but to me, this is just, okay, put your head down and enjoy the suck for a bit.
In Ohio, I remember we did this stage, a variation of it, and I think we had to be very similar concept, but to me it just felt way worse for the weight we had. I think we had a 100-pound sandbag and a 30-pound ruck, and I remember just being so exhausted. I was taking long breaks, and I just kept telling myself, go, go, go. It's a fast stage. You got to keep moving.
Well, especially after all of the work that they just completed, and now they're bent over with all of that gear on their bodies and trying to breathe and move.
At
Jen
this point, you don't breathe. You just hold your breath and you hope for the best. Hopefully you don't pass out.
And what's rough is the range terrain. You got rocks. You got all this dirt that you're putting your hands on. Your hands are getting cut up, and it's you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about moving and trying to finish the stage.
Well, and even, again, we are working this event. We're not actually competing, none of us at this table, and our videographer and the man who made all of this happen, Sean, on the other side of the camera. Sorry, I'm sharing now your personal business, but he was blowing his nose before this, and the amount of red clay and dirt that he said came out.
Nice.
So working the event, if that's what's happening, you can only imagine these athletes out of their ears, their nose, maybe their eyes, what they're picking out at the end of the day. If that gives you a nice visual at home.
They got to be getting close to that time cap.
Yeah, so I think ultimately we'll end up having these athletes finish around the same
Yeah, Jordan's on the
movements.
The bear crawl, so she's got to be right there within the 13 to 14 minute time frame. I know she was excited about this stage, so I guarantee you she's sending it right now.
Mm-hmm. And even just watching the different strategies of, she goes knee, then foot, and pulls.
And her attire choice was smart, too, to wear pants. I definitely would have wore pants on this stage.
Some kind of thick pants.
Yes, pants, a long-sleeve shirt, because you're climbing over that wall, and your arms are going to get scratched up when you, come down from it.
Yeah, Kalarina also here. Yeah, she was in the long sleeves, and You wouldn't think that apparel would make a difference, but honestly, it makes a big difference depending what stage you're doing.
So it looks like Crystal and Kalarina are on their third firing sequence, shooting pistol. And Jin's got to be getting close to being finished with her reps.
Oh, and there she
There
is,
she
just
is.
like
Oh.
that, Sal.
Nice.
Wait,
I
no.
think, or
Did she juke us? She's
Oh,
done.
no, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
there we go.
she was like, wait, I got to bring this weighted sandbag to the firing line. I can't forget that. It's like your shadow. Oh, and
look
we
at that.
all know that
And
body
this is the hardest
position.
part is you're shooting offhand rifle with your ruck on. Your heart rate's got to be at least 140 to 160, and you're trying to steady this gun so you can shoot into a 5-inch triangle. 12 shots. Just the amount of wobble you're going to see in your reticle is insane. It's like you're sitting there trying to steady it, and you can't. It's just going to keep moving, and you really just have to take what's acceptable. Hey, it's moving within that paper. It's near that triangle. I'm going to squeeze the trigger. It's not going to be perfect.
So at this point, would you try to actually pull the trigger faster, like deep breath, hold it, pull, because it's steadier?
So for me, I'm going to sling my rifle in my body to create more connection to the gun. Just because these are harder shots, I'm breathing heavier. So I'm going to try to be more steady on the rifle by making these points of contact and then really precise on the trigger. I'm not going to grip the rifle too hard with my strong hand and just try to be really smooth with the trigger prepped on the wall. As soon as it's there, I'm pushing it through smooth, and that'll set me up for success.
So Jin, so far the only athlete that we've seen, again, she is in women's tactical, but still incredibly impressive. She's now making her way to the additional work, so she'll go through the obstacle. Yeah, so
Wow.
this continues adding on to the points. We saw a couple women in the 40-plus division get through the first part. I don't think I saw any actually get up and over.
So I think Bailey Manchenko, I think she might have got over the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she
And then
just
the
got over
time
the wall.
ended.
The time cap, yeah. So I don't know how many points that was, but I know she finished, got over the wall, then it was time.
Okay, so each obstacle is a point.
And I think
So this
Jordan's to the shooting
three-
line over there with Eve. I don't know if you can go to that side, but I think she's shooting right now.
Okay, yeah, so we have
There's Kalarina.
Cal,
like Jessie
Crystal,
shooting.
Jesse, Jin.
And I think Jordan's on the line. I can hear shots going off, so it's got to be her.
And we'll see if over a corner we can see.
All I know is Jen is collecting some points
But-
there.
Jen's moving.
Yeah. She's gotten further again than any athlete I've seen today.
So
do
Cal is
this
now
stage.
getting points. It looks like, no, wait, Cal's still in the low crawl. Yeah, I think Jordan's
Yes, because
shooting.
Jordan was she was the leader, and it looks like I
Time.
think the time happened just the way everybody kind of crumbles at that moment. And the first thing you just got to take the ruck off, leave everything on the ground. But Jen, what an impressive performance from women's tactical, and again, trying to catch up or do as much damage control as you can with Megan Kennedy, who leads the way in that division as they close out day 2 of competition. And now it's time for them to rest and recover because they still have 4 stages tomorrow. Everybody closes out with 4 stages tomorrow except for our top 5 men and women.
Wow. That's it.
Can you believe it? We are
Day
more than
3.
halfway done.
It went by
Where
so
did the day
fast.
go? Where did the 2 days go?
But over here to our left, look at that sunset. Man, it's amazing.
It is.
Get to soak it in a little bit. You know, all the hard work you two put in along with the other staff. Get to enjoy a nice little sunset and think about how well the weekend's gone so far.
I
It
love
does-
a sentimental sale.
It is.
yeah.
Sentimental
Yeah.
Sal's my favorite.
He's
It is.
sensitive because of his injury, but he still is very passionate about how his friends and friends are doing here.
But
Yeah.
I think that also speaks to you as a person because, of course, Lupe is here competing, your wife, and you wanted to be out here and supporting her, but you very much could have gone watched her stages and then gone and hung out in your car or even left in between. But you're out here, you're doing the broadcast with us, you're mingling with the other athletes, you're cheering on your competitors, and that to me is what made me fall in love with the sport and the community because you're the definition of why so many people come back. It's that mentality and mindset that really brings us all together.
I appreciate that. I just love the people in the sport because it's helped me get better and become better at my job and better in life. Just putting aside drinking, all the time, eating bad food, and now I'm sitting here and working out when I get home because people have pushed me in this sport to be healthier, and that's what everybody needs is somebody in their life that's going to impact them in a positive way, and that's this community. Everybody's going to impact each other in a positive way, and I mean, everybody I talk to, it's just like, man, like I'm just thankful for this sport, and not just me. There's a lot of other really good people in the sport that have impacted others, and yeah, it's just awesome, and I hope to be in here a long time.
We hope so too. So no retirement plans.
Oh, no way. I can't do that. I mean, I love this sport. I would retire from other shooting hobbies, but this is the one I will always stick around with. Even if I am not capable of hanging in the elite division, I will be in 40 plus in 3 years. So those guys better watch out because I'm coming soon.
And now there's a 50 and a 60 plus. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that your competitive future, there's a very long runway ahead of you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guys, this has been so much fun. We are closing out day 2 of competition. We start back up again early tomorrow morning. We will once again be focusing on the elites, the 40 plus, the tactical divisions. And if you are in driving distance, come down to the event, Reverly Peak Ranch. We have all of the information on thetacticalgames.com. Bring your Ear Pro, Eye Pro, and it's free. I think that that's super cool that you can just come out here. You can meet people. We have a huge vendor village area and just talk, get to know the community. And we hope to see you guys compete next year in 2026. It's closer than we know, and registration is already open.
That's right.
And please email Amanda if you have any questions.
Yes. Yes.
She loves
She's
getting
your
emails.
girl. But
Thanks, Sal.
only email the questions if you've already looked for the answer on the website.
Yes.
Then come and ask the questions. This has been so much fun. For Amanda Cherry and Sal Hernandez, I'm Lauren Khalil. Thanks for tuning into our coverage, and we'll see you guys back here early tomorrow morning for day 3 of Nationals.